How did that feel for you when you sold your place? Oh, it felt great. My son came home one day and he said, "Are you rich?" They valued the company.
This is John Paul Jordan, the founder of billion-dollar hair care company, John Paul Mitchell Systems, and billion-dollar tequila brand Patron. Today I'm at his house to learn how he went from being homeless, living out of his car,
I learned how to live off of $2.50 a day.
to building two of the biggest global business empires in totally separate industries.
I think a lot of people are curious about how you get it done. Well, the first thing that I did was, the very first thing, I wrote a check for $50 million that went directly.
That is awesome. Let's find out what it takes to go from almost to $1 billion.
You were actually homeless during this time. Yeah, twice. What happened? How did you get homeless? I needed $500 million to start a haircut company. So, my partner and I made a deal. You take 30%, we'll take 30%, we have control of 60% of the company. We'll give them 40% to anyone that'll give us and invest, $500,000 with us $500,000. But we had somebody settle, a fellow named Dick Holthouse from a corporation called Citicorp. He was over working in Europe as a friend of mine and an investor out of the island of Jersey, which is between.
Oh shit! Anyways, it's a business island. So you got to invest the money. So my relationship at the time was not going well at all. So I left whatever money I had, 'cause I had a pretty good job. I quit everything I was doing. Left with. Right before I started this company, I was a consultant to companies. If you wanted to enter the beauty industry, that's what I was doing. But I quit everything. Everything I had, I just quit because $500 million is coming. That's 1980. So, anyways, I left the newer card. I took the older card and left the house and a bunch of money for my wife and my daughter. Said it'd be fine for a few months, right? Went down the hill to get the money. Never arrived. A friend of mine ran me down. Dick Holthouse got a hold of him, who got a hold of me, and said, "JP, call Dick, collect."
Did he?
Pick up the phone, call him, collect.
I couldn't hear once he went outside.
And he said, "We're snooze." The guy changed his mind. And I said, "Why did he change his mind? This is the last minute." He goes, "Well, inflation in the United States, 12.5%, unemployment, 10.5%, interest rate, 17%, and your hostages are still in Iran and haven't been released. We don't. You're waiting in line for gas. We don't know about the future of oil and gas, and it has a lot to do with petrochemicals and plastics and everything else."
I wanted to tell
I'm
you.
sorry, just changed his mind. So
really
we had
did, but
zero. And I just had a few bucks in my pocket, a few $100, and that was it.
Just trust me,
My
you
mom
want to.
lived in LA, but I was too proud to say, "Mom, I'm broke. Can I have my bed back? My room is still available. Feed me."
Then let me
I was too
regain it.
proud. So I just
Let
went
me
over to the
show you
house
what
and
I
said, "Mom,
found.
can I borrow about $300
Besides,
from you?" And she
we
says,
haven't seen the
"Why?
last
You make
of
good
Odin.
money." I said, "Mom,
Or
I'm
Thor.
starting a new business."
And
I give it back
clearly
to
they
her.
can
Went,
just
"Okay,
walk in
here
and
you go.
blast holes
Hey,
in
you
our
want to stay
home
for
whenever
lunch?"
they
"Yeah, I
want.
do." Blah, 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 blah.
There's only one way to get
and
them
I
off
just
our
stayed in my car.
backs.
I was just too proud to tell
I
my
think I
mom
know
that
how.
everything went wrong. That's how we started. And I learned how to live off of $2.50 a day. 99 cents went to the Freeway Cafe for what they called the trucker's special. If you went there after 9 o'clock, where nobody went after 9 o'clock, it was right by the freeway. And before 11 o'clock, the lunch crowd, for 99 cents, it was called the Freeway Cafe. You got 1 egg, your choice of one piece of bacon or one sausage. I took the sausage, it was bigger, one piece of toast, and then your choice of orange juice or coffee. And that was my breakfast. And then I learned how to, and those 99 cents, right? And then I learned to, and it's one of these places you walk up, they give it to you, walk outside and you eat it. And then I found a way to be able to eat off of a dinner for like $1, $1.25. And what I did was somebody called El Torito, big restaurant chain, right? Yeah. Anyways, started something called Happy Hour. Virtually no business from 4 to 5:30 in the afternoon. So they started this thing where 99-cent margarita wasn't Patron, but it was a big margarita for 99 cents, and wasn't invented Patron yet. Anyway, so 99 cents for the margarita, and it was okay. But what was great was they gave you all these little chicken wings or the salsa, and they would switch off. Well, you get about 2 or 3 bowls of salsa and 20 chicken wings, and you are just full as can be. And my kid, who a friend of mine was helping me watch, would come down with me, and eat at the same time. And it went really well. But after 3 or 4 days, they kind of caught on. And the waitress came over and said, "You guys are down and out, aren't you?" We said, "Yeah." And I told her the story. Pretty soon an enchilada would arrive with our margarita. But I remembered them. And when we started making some money several years later, I was able to afford it. I came back and I tipped everyone in that restaurant the biggest tips they've ever had in their life for helping me out when I needed a helping hand.
What were you telling yourself during that time when you have no money, you're living in your car? Like, what were you telling yourself, and how'd you get out of this situation?
Well, when you're really down and out, the next thing you should think about is not why you're down and out and how bad things are, because that's yesterday's newspaper. If you do that, you're stuck in the past. You can't change yesterday's newspaper. So what I just did was I just thought ahead of what's the next thing to do tomorrow? What's the next thing after this? Who do I call next? How do I make another sale? That was all in my mind. And I would say the same thing to anyone that's down and out or homeless. You can't change yesterday's newspaper. And what slows most people down is they're stuck in the past. Something happened to them. They got fired. They got a divorce. Somebody said something to them that hurt them, or today over the internet, they just destroy people, unfortunately. But all of a sudden, you're stuck in the past. It's on their mind before they go to sleep. It's on their mind all the time. Well, now your thinking power is behind you. You can't change it. You got to think ahead. What is next? And forgive everyone that's done you wrong. Forget every jealousy that's ever in your mind. For every regret that I wish I would have done that differently. You can't change it. Forget it all. When it comes in your mind, just forgive it. Forgive yourself. Forgive Joe Blow. Forgive everybody to your mind. You don't have to tell them personally if you don't want to. Just forgive them. You're a jerk. That was the past. I'm not going to carry you around anymore. And if it comes to your mind again, just say, no, that's my past life. Get out of here. Let's move on.
Behind every business, there is a team of people. And people have a lot of information. Trying to manage.
How did you go from 0 to $1 million?
Knocking on doors, and then after 6 months, I was hired to hire. We had just enough to hire a secretary, really cheap, Shirley Long. She was wonderful, didn't mind helping us out, and she did 10 jobs. My first field guy was a year and a half later. So we just kept on building the business and reinvesting everything. Everything we had, we reinvested. Never changed my lifestyle. I had an apartment living after that, but never changed my lifestyle until I had enough money to be able to survive on what I have, my bills paid in full, and no bills for me personally, and enough money to put down on something.
Do you remember any specific knocking on door experiences or stories?
Where you at, you little bastard?
Oh, yeah, lots of it. Oh, of course, yeah. But they were nice. Some of them were like, no, talk to my salesman, not to me. Well, I am your salesman. We don't have a salesman, right? Anyway, but it was good. People were usually pretty friendly. Hairdressers are very friendly people.
Didn't say anything else.
There weren't that many that were very, very few.
He said he doesn't care about Jotunheim
Just the experience were just really, really nice people. And many became some of my best friends and some of our best educators for the company.
You think he knows all the
It's also interesting. I like to hear the classes. One thing to come back on it, a lot of people starting out businesses are talking, or they think they do, or they don't know if they want to partner or not. So how did that partnership come about, and how do you think people should look for partners in business?
Well, with me, Paul Mitchell and I were pals for 9 years in the beauty industry. We were very, very good friends. In fact, a young lady, our mutual friend, Miss Eva Prang, introduced us to one another. Just thought I was starting in the industry, and Paul was really hot and heavy as a top educator in the industry and had a name going for himself. We just became friends. And after 9 years, we decided, hey, let's do our own business here together. And it was a perfect relationship with Paul and I. I didn't do hair, and he didn't do any business. He was a businessman, but a top hairdresser, top educator. So we never argued about anything. We came to with hair and how to do things with hair in the classes.
Oh,
Yep, you're right, 100%. Business, I was right on that one in most cases.
Why would you?
So you guys had your separate lanes.
Exactly, yeah. And of course we crossed over. If he did a hair show, I'd be on stage with him, promoting our products and trying to give people ideas how to be successful in salons and things like that.
Try
And we
using
worked
a blade to pull
Same
this
thing,
down.
Paul and I did hair shows where he would be hired for a hair show and maybe get a room, right? He'd always ask for 2 beds. We'd get the $99 special to fly there at night so I could be there. He was already there because he was already paid to show up. I would come, take one bed, he'd take the other bed. So there was no cost involved with us other than to get me there, period. We'd do a show, we'd sell it right off the floor, and then we'd stay there for a couple of days with whatever distributor we had and go knocking on their customers' doors with the salesman. They got us in a lot easier and start presenting product.
There's a lot there, which is amazing. What a super cool. One thing I don't know if it's talked about is your sales. The sales, your positivity, and your persistence. I guess I'm trying to think for the other entrepreneurs and people on their business journeys, like what would you recommend for them? And you're like, hey, I've got a discount. You don't like this? I'll do this. And
It's the perfect question to ask me. And it's the perfect thing that I'd like to contribute to everybody. Number one, understand that we made a hell of a good product. We made the best product we possibly can. So your product or service has got to be the best. That's number one, okay? You don't want to be in the selling business. You want to be in the reorder business. Most people put something together, the package, can I sell it, can I sell it? Mine was all about, I want them to reorder it. So the product has got to be so good, and the person that's using it, the hairdresser, has got to really know it's good. Hairdressers know. They are the best people in the world to get advice for hair, period. They're just the better, so they would know how good it is. So we knew that the product we had. The second thing is, and probably is equally as important, is be prepared for a lot of rejection because you're going to get it. If you're prepared for it, it's not going to affect you. It's like when I sold encyclopedias. The average age or time of an encyclopedia salesman after they were trained for no money, training is free, right? You don't get paid a dime. Was 3 days. It's door-to-door commission only. But he told me something that made me successful in 3.5 years, and I believe what they said. They said, a lot of you aren't going to make it, some of you will. Those that will overcome rejection. A lot of doors will be closed in your face. But on door number 50, you have to be just as enthusiastic as door number 1 to have that same motivation. Those are the guys who will make it. Well, for me, maybe it was door 101, okay? But I did. I kept up the same enthusiasm. As you do that, you learn more how to do things better, how to say things differently, and you get better and better and better. That's why I started politics the same way. And that's what I say about a lot of people. The 2 biggest things you'll ever need is that quality service or a quality product. A quality service, if it's a one-time sale, it's a one-time sale for that reason. If it's really good, they'll tell others. If it's something they can repeat, you already put that into it. It's so good they'll
And I think one of the things that definitely sticks with me that I think other people can definitely benefit and learn from is just like, one, facing rejection, but also finding a product you believe in and putting yourself out there to educate. I think you say sales, and you're an excellent salesperson. It was interesting even how you walked through selling Paul Mitchell, but it was educating people. It's like, let me teach a class. Let me guarantee that you're going to do well.
Exactly. That's being part of the reorder business because I can't be in there selling it for them. It's something on the shelf nobody knows. I needed the hairdresser to use it and know how to show it to their customer. So, for example, when I went in and gave a presentation, they didn't know what I was showing them. I'd show them shampoo 1, shampoo 2, let them smell it a little bit, right? And then when I got to the conditioner, wow, the conditioner, okay? This is my first product, right? This is 43 years old right now. What I would do was this. I would take it and I'd say, let me show you something amazing. Watch this. I put it in my hand, right? May I have your hand, please?
Yeah.
Oh, watch. I'll put your hand. Watch. Now, you don't have a clue what to do with that. I'd say, no, let me tell you about this conditioner, right? Now I've got your attention, right? And I would always hold it like a gem, because it was a gem product. I'd say, let me tell you about the conditioner. And then I would hold it here and like this. And they don't know what the heck to do with this, right? But I got their attention, okay? I'd say the conditioner is a moisture treatment, a protein treatment, a nucleic acid treatment. Lets you cut the hair easier and slip. And then it's instant. You put it in your hair. It's incredible for your skin, by the way. Unbelievable for your skin, especially as a hairdresser with all the chemical things you may be using. By the way, rub it in your hands. Very good for your skin. Rub it on in there. Very, very good for your skin. If I'm headed, really, just nice. Yeah, there you go. And all of a sudden they're part of my presentation. So when I would go in there and hold the class, I would explain to the hairdresser, when they're at the back base, and say, on your hair, because it's fine hair, we're going to use shampoo one. That's what we're going to use on your hair is shampoo one, because it's a special shampoo for you. So now the customer thinks, the hairdresser really thinks they're special. And then when they're sitting in the chair, get your customer's hair, put a little bit in there.
I said there was someone who might help us get answers about the Giants
exact thing in the
You ain't here.
Yeah, that's what now.
You're about to one of these lands.
This reminds me of a story about the guy selling glass. There's a guy trying to sell glass with hammers.
Right?
And he goes to them and he's like, all right, let me show you this hammer. And he breaks the glass of it. And then everyone copies him. Because that's the best way you can sell the hammer. And then he then gives the person the hammer the next sale and says, you break the glass. So actually giving them the product to experience it, powerful way of getting them involved.
Who cleaned up the mess?
I don't know. But it's interesting to involve your customer there. But one thing, the jumps are still pretty insane. 1 0 to $1 million. How did you go from $1 million to I think you guys do $1 billion a year now selling product? Like, how did you guys go from $1 million to $1 billion a year?
Reinvest. All the way they came along, we reinvested and did good things for the hairstylists. And then started schools. We have over 100 schools, Paul Mitchell schools. So you change your hairdresser, how to be a great hairdresser and be successful. Well, of course, we're doing the Paul Mitchell products and our knowledge, and we also get into education. Besides the education of our products, we went nationwide. At one time, we had what we call associates that worked for us part-time, top hairdressers that we taught beside us. Classes for everybody on the latest hairstyles, the latest techniques, the latest business ideas. So we kept ourselves involved in the company to help our customer become more prosperous because we're there. Be better hairdressers, better business people. And that certainly contributes to our growth tremendously.
Interesting. Because you guys were the underdogs. I mean, you guys were like, there's all these major companies out there.
I think today, Paul Mitchell, as our hair company, we just don't give out our information. It's private. We happen to know that we believe it is the largest privately owned salon hair care company in the world. So a lot of us through hard work, believing in yourself, but taking care of the customer. Not just saying, well, hell, let's just make a lot of money, keep on selling, let's not renew it. It's like people that have research and development. Of course you want research and development. You want to always improve. We always try and help out as much as we can. And the company grew quite rapidly.
Remember the days of dial-up internet and flip phones? It was a time of mountains of...
If you're feeling inspired by this video to create your own business while working a day job, this is what I did to get AppSumo.com into an 8-figure company while having a day job as a marketing consultant. To download a copy for free, go to okdort.com/dayjob. That's okay.
Another friend of mine, Martin Crowley, and I put him in the architectural business. He was an architect and just went bankrupt. A friend of mine turned me on to him. He's just a nice guy, went bankrupt in the hospitality business. JP's a great architect. He's got a good idea for a business. Go to Mexico, buy pavers and furniture, come back and sell it to restaurants or architects for their model homes. A little niche business, right? We were doing okay on it, and I was starting to build a house for my whole family in California, in Malibu, a big one. Because we were making some good money at that time. So I said, Martin, when you go down, you got to buy some pavers for me, some stone for this house. While you're down there, Martin, find out, because we were drinking a little bit of tequila at the time, right? But it wasn't Patron tequila, where, we take a shot, where's the lime or where's the salt? It wasn't quite as tasty, shall we say, or beneficial to the throat as the tequilas are today, the newer ones. Anyway, so Martin came back with this long bottle, nondescript, and a horseshoe on it. And he said, this is what a lot of them are drinking down there. And I thought, wow, that's the smoothest tequila I've ever had. You could actually sip this a bit. He goes, yeah. But I ran across this guy named Francisco Alcaraz. He's a chef of tequilas. He could make it smoother. I said, well, let's check it out. He went back down, brought me some back, and was, man, this is smoother, right? So I said, okay, I'm going to bankroll this, Martin. Let's order 1,000 cases. That's 12,000 bottles. And let's see what we can do with it, right? And then Martin found this bottle, which is still the Patron bottle of today. Found it out of recycled glass. It was a gift bottle, right? And I said, if we make these in quantity, where we have recycled glass and it's in recycled cardboard boxes, so we're really into it. And he goes, yeah, we could probably arrange that. And we did. We were able to pull it off. Anyways, the interesting thing was nobody would take us. Nobody wanted the product. Everyone we ran across said, I've never tasted anything like this, but it's way too expensive. The average tequila in 1989 was around $5 a bottle. I think the best one was $14 if you could find it. We had to sell ours for $37.95, way more than anybody else. They said no. I walked into Spago's restaurant. Wolfgang Puck was a friend of mine, and Spago's was the restaurant in Beverly Hills to go to. And I gave him, say, "Oh, JP, this is good stuff." I said, "Would you serve it to your celebrity friends?" He said, "Of course, it's the best," because they were.
Oh my goodness, hi Husky.
So Wolfgang Puck gave me a great break. He brought it in, served it to all the celebrities. Yes, pretty soon I knew Bruce Springsteen is on the road. And with his main saxophone player, they're bringing a case of Patron with them on the road on every concert they want to do.
How can we not?
That was pretty cool. And the guard knew the guys at Bar Cantina, Marina Del Rey. He got them. So we finally went to a wine company. This is a wine company. All they sold was wine. And we said, "Would you take out our spirit?" And they said, "We don't sell spirits, we only sell wine." We said, "Well, the other guys don't really want to get into because it's really an unknown name. They don't want to get into tequila." We said, "But we'll work with you to sell it. JP will come in, I will come in, I'll hold your sales meeting. And by the way, if you will take it on, we'll give you Spagos and Bar Cantina." You're kidding. You can get us into Spagos? Yep. We already did, right? So we didn't want to tell them that. We got in Bar Cantina. So they said, "Okay, you got to show up the next day." After a little over a year, we dropped them. All they sold was just a little over 1,000 cases. That was it. That's for the whole year, a little over a year. So we dropped them. And we took on a big company, a great big company, like Jim Beam. They were big. So we would sell to Jim Beam, and they would sell to their distributors, whoever they sold Jim Beam alcohol to. And they were really great guys. So we thought, boy, we're going to get really big with them. Well, after another year or two with them, they had sold about 12,000 cases a year. So we met with them, nice people. And we said, "Guys, we think we should do 40 or 50,000 cases a year. You're big, got the distribution." And they were very kind. They said, "Guys, let's tell you the truth, okay? No one's ever come out with tequila like this before, right? Guys, you're just too expensive. You have the best tequila ever. There's no doubt. That's what we think. But it's 30s. By that time, it goes up to 38.95. No one's going to buy it, JP. Very few people will buy it. The most you will ever sell is 20,000 cases a year." We didn't believe it. We dropped them and went on with Seagram's. Kept Seagram's for a few years, and they got it up to about 70,000 cases a year. And we thought we could do a heck of a lot different. So by that time, we were making pretty good money. We went to court and bought them out of their contract window. Just bought them out. It was millions of dollars, but we had it and we gave it to them, part of what we didn't have. And we took
What
it
the
over
fuck do I
ourselves,
need from
and then
here?
all of a sudden it just took off. So a lesson that people will learn. There's one product that was too expensive that nobody wanted, or a big person thought, and they had right that all the statistical data, no one could ever approach that, right? But all of a sudden, it took on, and people wanted to treat themselves to the very, very best. When I sold Patron about 5 years ago,
Let's push the wrong
we were
button.
approaching
That's what happened.
4 million cases a year. I think just our tequila low was about 3.5 million cases of that. And obviously, as you probably know, it's public record. It went for the largest amount ever within the spirits company. But, so you don't believe what people tell you. You believe yourself. If someone tells you something that's real, there's no reason not to believe them. But if they tell you something negative, question it. What do you feel in your own heart? What do you feel can be done? And just go for it. Look at how many times Sylvester Stallone pitched Rocky and nobody wanted it. He didn't give up. He kept on going and going. And look at these guys in the internet industry, how they just pushed and pushed and pushed, didn't give up, and all of a sudden they made it. So a good portion is, no matter what the rejection is, keep your eye on the target. Ignore the trivia many and just pay attention to the vital few and get rid of all the baggage off your shoulders.
I hope you were paying attention to everything this man said.
We've come this far. Let's see it.
A CRM shouldn't weigh your budget down.
I would not even give out the information, but it was public knowledge. That's the only reason I'm talking.
Yeah, we saw it was like over $5 billion.
Yes, what it sold. They value the company at over $5.1 billion, but that's public knowledge.
I think a lot of people are curious. Okay, you can get it billions of dollars. What do you do with it?
Oh, happy dance. Yeah. Well, the first thing that I did was, very first thing, I wrote a check for $50 million that went directly to start the Peace, Love, and Happiness Foundation to help change Austin as well as the rest of the world. That's the first check I wrote, gave back. And I feel great because America still works, and I'm a big giver, as you guys know. That's public knowledge too. That I participate not just financially, where it is millions of dollars in some places. In this city even more to just change things for people and make it better off. And I figure that let's say the good Lord, the creator of all of everything that we have here, whatever you want to call him. You call him God, you call him force, whatever you want to call that creator of everything, gave me that opportunity. And I think part of it was my destiny was to give back along the way and find new experiences and help others along the way. Things were so good for me. Why not help others? So I'm very generous in that area.
That is awesome. The other thing, one, I think what the two things with the parallels I'm hearing is that you have to have something that you believe in and is great. Like if you had an okay tequila and you're trying to knock on doors, it's probably, no matter what you believe, is not going to do that.
Well, that's right. That's correct. We had the best, just a matter of enough people knowing it. I mean, an example is some great people like Clint Eastwood did me one hell of a favor. He's a nice man. He's a friend of mine, right? And I think this is like 1992. We were maybe in business 2-3 years. He does a movie. He calls me on the phone and says, JP, are you still going out with that Eloise? I go, yeah, I sure am. That's my wife, by the way, okay? I said, yeah, I'll probably marry her. She's incredible. He goes, well, I'm going to help you get it right. He says, I want you to come down to the premiere of a new movie I have. And I want you to come as my guest. I said, oh, that's great. I'm here with you. I said, oh, boy, go to premiere of a movie. Because I hadn't done those things in my life. So I take her down to the premiere of the movie. Clint is nowhere around. He's elsewhere doing a promotion in New York or something, right? But the producer met me, said, oh, we've been expecting you. And he gave me seats right next to him, right in the middle of the theater, next to the producer. Free popcorn, I'll never forget it, free Pepsi. Usually you find Coca-Cola right in the theater, then Pepsi. And I thought, boy, this is cool. I'm next to the producer, got free popcorn, free Pepsi. Boy, I'm the man, right? That wasn't it. We watched the movie. He never said a word to me. We watched the movie. The only thing he drank in the movie was Patron tequila. And the most hottest scene in the movie is he, the terrorist on the phone. He was a Secret Service agent, right? He, the terrorist on the phone, and he's sipping Patron while he's trying to talk the guy out of killing the President of the United States. That was in the line of fire in his movie. I mean, just some really cool people jumped up, and people that I knew, and all of a sudden someone just got it out there for me. They helped us out. Another big help was hairdressers. We would have a seminar every year, and about 3,000 top hairdressers would come to it. We would serve all Patron free. And at first, we had to get out there. But then when the salesman finally got around, and we finally got the sales distributed there, finally got around to our stores or clubs. People are asking about that. Is that what it is? So hairdressers helped out a lot.
Was the motivation money? Because that doesn't sound like it.
I got the best. Like Paul Mitchell stand here. The Trump was the very best in the deal at the time. I like to have something that was really the highest of quality.
One thing I don't understand, though, is that it doesn't seem like you hired like 10,000 people directly. What is your team? Like, how do you organize these billion-dollar businesses? You have two of them, where it doesn't seem like you've actually, so many people.
It's very easy when you start out. You can afford anybody. But I couldn't do everything, so finally Shirley Wong would do 10 jobs. A year and a half later, from the time we started.